So we are going to start with our new series known as HL7 interview questions. So I'll be covering with the very basic topics to complicated topics which would be expected in interview questions, mostly for the HL7 role. So even if you are a mud developer, core point or Rhapsody, as we are going to use HL7, so this would be a few of the questions theoretically asked in the HL7 interviews. So let's start with one of the basic question. What is the difference between HL7, ORU and ORM messages? So we know ORU is results, we know ORM is orders, but we should know when this will be triggered and what is the major difference. So I always try to explain in a difference manner so it would be easy to understand. In the screen, you can see here ORM and ORU. So first ORM will be triggered, second ORU will be triggered, and you should know why this will be triggered. For example, if you go to hospital or any clinic, the doctor will be taking care of your, like physician will be looking after you. So if you found the doctor found anything wrong in you, he will be ordering a CBC test. For example, CBC test is nothing like a complete blood checkup. So where he is going to order? So what happens if he orders the CBC test? So this is one of the basic example. It's not like only for CBC test order message will be generated. Any test or like any order which a doctor places, the order message will be generated. For example, you can see the picture over here. Doctor is looking into your reports, like where did you came from, what is your status, what is your issue you are facing with, and what he tries to do, he orders a CBC test with the EHR or like EMR which is he's using in his laptop. It might be Epic, Cerner, Meditech, whatever it is. So he want to place a CBC test. When he places a CBC test, the ORM order message is generated. It's very simple. Whenever any order is being placed, an order message is generated. So the physician might place, a doctor might place it, or any other resource. So that's how order message is generated. And if you want to know what is ORU, like what happens, so if an order message is generated, that order message will be going to a lab, right? So what happens in that specific time? At the time, the order message goes to lab information system. For example, if I place over here lab information system, you might be thinking what is LS. You can Google it, or in future videos I'll be even explaining that, whether it might go to lab information system, whether it might go to like radiology information system, depending upon what type of order a doctor has been placed. So what happens? The lab will process the CBC test. So the lab is going to process the CBC test. Once after processing, what does the lab do? Like once after testing, for easy to understand, I just kept the picture. So they are going to do your CBC blood test. Once after doing the blood test, they need to send back those blood reports to the hospital or the EMR, whatever it is. So what they will do, they will generate an ORU message which will send all those details from the lab to the hospital. So in a simple way, ORM message is triggered when a doctor or physician or anyone places any particular order, it will go to lab. When the lab actually does the reports and sends it back, it will come as an ORU message. It's very, very simple. So I'm going to give one of the ORM message example over here. I'll paste it over here. So that looks very good. This is MSH, this is PID. You can ignore the rest of the thing. You can see over here for the patient name, like Donald Trump, a doctor has been placed an order for the CBC test. You can see over here it is CBC. So this is how the ORM message look like. You might already know what is ORM and message types and everything if you have covered my previous videos. This is very, very basic concept. So you can look at the message with all the details in the ORM message, for example, specifically OBR segment when the doctor has placed the CBC test, how it is going. So similarly, when a lab has tested your CBC details and they want to send it back to the hospital, so the ORU message will be generated something like this. You can see over here, The lab system, lab facility, these are very common details. In the OBR, you can see it is a CBC test, but what is the difference between ORU and ORM? You can see there is an OBX segment. All the observation details are being sent over here. So they have been tested, the hemoglobin, hematocrit, and all the white blood count, and lot of other details you can see over here. So the ORM message is generated when the doctor places an order, and the ORU message is generated when the when the lab information system generates the result and sends it back to the EPR or EMR, whatever the doctor is using. So it's a very simple and direct, straightforward question, but many of us don't know the workflow and process. So I just want to cover the basic topics before jumping into complex ones. So this is one of the very basic example. So I want to add one more takeaway. For example, while the interview is going on, if they ask what is OBR, so we know ORM is nothing but order message, ORU is nothing but result. If they are saying like as we are sending the CBC count, CBC test in the OBR segment, what is it? It's very simple. Observation request segment. So there is nothing complicated on here. R is nothing but a request. We are actually requesting for those details to the lab. Now you might get a question again. What is OBX? So it's again very simple. You can copy the same thing over here. Observation, and this is nothing but a result. We are getting a result. So this is observation result segment. So we are getting all the results in the OBX segment. So in future, if you are even working on real-time projects, so if you get an ORU, if someone, an EPR analyst might ask you, what are there in the results? You don't need to check everything. You can directly go and check in the OBX segment. So OBX is always a result. OBR is always a request. So it's very simple. So I want to lock it down the video. I don't want to drag more than 5 minutes any video. So I don't want to bore you. So this is a very simple and clear explanation about ORM and ORU, which you might get questions. So even I want to paste something again, and as an extra takeaway over here, you can take a screenshot if you are watching this video, the major difference between the ORM and ORU. Thank you. Hope this video helped you understand the difference between ORM and ORU, and it might help you in future. Thank you. Have a great day.